Hey, it's Ryan with QLZ. We are talking with Robert John today. Robert, you are the frontman of Robert John and the Wreck. So, dude, it's nice to meet you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Like I told you, the Artist Spotlight's a feature where we kind of bring on some newer bands or bands that are newer into our format, which you guys are. You guys, have great Southern rock, a lot of blues, a lot of just good straight up rock and roll sound to you guys. So, song or Artist Spotlight feature, like I told you, a song called "Stone Cold Killer." Is the one that we're going to be featuring on Wednesday the 15th. So I always like to play a clip of the interview, at least back on the air. We always share everything online, but I always like to play a clip of the interview back. But what do you want people to know about this song? Whether what inspired it, what it means to you guys, or just anything really that you want people to know about this track.
Yeah, I mean, we started by jamming in a garage
Mhm.
and just playing, and just someone is playing a cool riff and everyone just plays along and we just start singing some melody and then it catches and then you just kind of go with the flow, and just
Mhm.
it's the vibe of the song more than sitting down and like um I try to write a really meaningful song that it felt very nostalgic for us
Yeah.
just to get in the room and just rock out and have a good time doing it. And it had been a while since we've kind of felt like that. So it was a fun track to put together and record. And we got to record that with Kevin Shirley out here in LA, who's done a little bit of everything, Iron Maiden to Black Crows and stuff. So it was a really fun time to just kind of feel nostalgic about it.
Yeah. How important is it, if you guys, and I want to talk about how many albums you guys have, because it seems like you don't have a life outside of this because you have so many, at least according to Wikipedia, you guys have so much music out there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to go back and dive into, but I think, Dave Grohl always talked about that, like getting in a garage with your buddies, and he goes, even if you suck to start, not saying that you guys do by any means, but Dave's just like, hey, even if you guys suck to start, you're getting in a room, you're playing music, you're creating something, you're having a good time. And you mentioned going back to just getting in a garage and just playing. So how important is that for new musicians and even like you guys who've been around, for a little bit over a decade at this point?
Yeah. I mean, Dave Grohl's right. I mean, I think it's the most important thing to do when you're young and when you're trying to figure out what you're doing or if you're not, it doesn't really matter how old you are.
Yeah.
If you want to go jam in a garage, it's there, you can turn the amps on, you can play the drums depending on where you live,
Yeah.
okay. And it doesn't matter, you're jamming. You're not getting ready for a show. You're not, there's no walls. Um, you're just in a room with your friends and you're playing music. And, sometimes as you progress in your career or anything, then, you get in that room because you have work to do. Um,
Yeah.
and there's something about getting in that room and just letting things go and not being too worried if you jam on a three note, progression for 2 hours, as long
Yeah.
as you're having fun and just letting breathing, because then the work becomes more fun. But if you don't have that time to just play, it'll get you.
I know you mentioned it depends on where you live, where you bring in the drums. You guys ever have the cops called on you or anything else when you guys were younger starting out or no?
No,
No?
surprisingly. I mean,
Okay.
I grew up in a cul-de-sac housing tract, and my house was on the corner in the
Mhm.
center, and that's where we would play as loud as we could in the garage. It wasn't soundproofed. I mean, that
Okay.
whole neighborhood must have heard. I mean, at one point we had half stacks and like, and just we I don't understand it. I don't understand why we never got the cops called, but um yeah, I guess we just got lucky.
Ever put on a concert for the entire neighborhood? Just open up the garage doors and
Yeah,
whoever wants to bike by or walk or bring the dog on by or anything else, just putting on a concert for the neighbors.
yeah. I was always too shy to do that. We
Okay.
closed the door at all times, and
Okay.
I think my parents wanted the door to be closed in the beginning. They were like, "What's going on down there?" But
Oh, that's awesome. I love it, dude. I love the simplicity of it. It's nice every once in a while with doing these interviews and just kind of hearing the simplicity of Man, just it's just good to jam together and get together. It's always cool to hear that. You guys have another single that's out right now as well. Stone Cold Killer, the one that we're getting on. You guys had Hold On, which I believe came out like 2 days ago. It's following an album you guys put out in August. So like these two singles that are out right now, kind of what does the rest of this year look like for you guys? More singles, another album on the way? Because I kind of want to talk to you about how
Yeah.
much music you guys have out there too.
I mean, we have another single coming out in a couple weeks, and yeah, and then we have a full album coming out next year too. So there's a lot of new music, and we're excited.
It's incredible because it seems like you guys have done this since 2011. I think you guys, including a live album, at least according to Wikipedia. Now, it's nice every once in a while when we interview some bands with Wikipedia out there. I know sometimes it's not always correct and whatnot, but you guys have like 12 albums out already. Between I think studio stuff, looks like some compilations and a live album. So
Yeah.
do you pretty much just live in the recording studio and writing? Is there anything else you like to do in your free time, or is it just, man, let's just get out as much music as we possibly can?
Yeah, I mean, when we started, it was, you don't know what you're doing when you start, but we knew that we needed a record to go on the road.
Mhm.
And so it was just kind of that cycle, you write, you record a record, you go on the road, and then you come home and write, and you record a record, and then you go on the road. It was just kind of this cycle that we were doing for a long time, and we just kind of stuck with it. And now it's just, you know, elevated to, get off the road. We have time right now, so we should be writing.
Yeah.
So now if we have time right here, let's go record. And if we have time right here, it's just the cycle just moves a little faster than it did.
Mhm.
Just because of where we are and what we're doing. Um, but yeah, free time is fun too.
Yeah. I know. I was pretty blown away by that because it's funny because so many bands today, I think even if you look, so like, I was a kid in the 90s, early 2000s. And it was every couple of years you'd have an album and it was always, hey, here's one or two singles and boom, here's an album. Now it's just get as much out there as you can. Do you feel like you were maybe ahead of the curve a little bit on this because you guys have so much music out there? Or was it just something that kind of like subconsciously happened where it's like, man, we just want to make music and maybe now you kind of fit into this mold really well of kind of what the music industry expects of you to constantly be churning out content.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a bunch of different factors
Mhm.
in that. I mean, touring is one of them. Having something new on the table when you're out is beneficial to touring.
Yep.
To making enough to get to the next city. And that's kind of how it started. And then now having a team behind us who understand the internet,
Mhm.
um, and figuring all that out, and how the internet works these days,
Mhm.
which I don't know. I listen to people who figure it out, and then they
Yeah.
give us advice. So I think that we're doing this system right now of releasing singles like every 6 weeks or something to keep the gears churning.
Yeah.
And I mean, in this state too, it's really hard for people to pay attention, or to people want more, and they want
Yeah.
constant stuff, whether no matter if it's music or anything, just content. And so we're enjoying writing music, and we're enjoying recording it, and so figuring out a game plan to put those songs out when the best time is what's going on, and we're having a blast doing it.
Awesome. Well, again, man, if people want to dive into you guys more, I think they've probably got about a day's worth of music they can check out and get into, which is great. You guys are doing something really cool on your website as well. So check that out today. People I think sign up to get emails for you guys. You're sending them like 10 songs. You're like our 10 top songs or something like that. So kind of how that idea come about. Again, we're in a world where people want content. I don't think I've seen a band do this before. You've seen it where it's like, hey, pre-order the album, you get one or two singles. You guys are like,
Yeah.
hey, sign up on the website. We're going to send you our top 10 singles.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think also there's an ownership with that. In the streaming age, you can go stream those singles that we're giving you.
Mhm.
But I think there's still that subtle art of ownership, of you own
Yeah.
it. It's on your computer. It's yours. It's the tangible equivalent is the CD. You have the CD. You have the vinyl. which I think is still important to a lot of people. So instead of just saying, "Hey, can we have your email?" Like we 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 have stuff to give you too.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why we do that.
No, that's cool. I mean, I still have a CD player in my car. I'm a huge Linkin Park fan, so I waited 6.5 months to get the 20th anniversary of Meteora.
Nice.
It took 6.5 months, but it came here like a week and a half ago, and I've looked through everything and brought everything out because I still want that. I'm reading the liner notes, reading where the songs come from, because
Sure.
again, man, I still want that physical piece. So it's cool
Yeah.
you guys are doing that. Are you still? Do you still find yourself seeking out listening to full albums? Do you find yourself buying stuff physically still, or is it like
Yeah.
okay,
Oh yeah. I prefer it. I mean, we're on the road a lot, so
mhm,
I'd rather just put on a full album and listen to it down instead of just go in and pick and choose.
yeah,
But I still do that too. Sometimes you just want to hear that song, sometimes that song sparks the other song, and you just play DJ for yourself.
yeah?
But I would say the most part, I think I just listen to albums as they are. And yeah, and usually, it's someone else is playing something. I'm like, wait, hold on, what's this? And then let's go down that rabbit hole. So,
Yeah. It's awesome. Well, it leads me to this question because it's a question I ask every single band I have on. I used to live in Wisconsin, working radio up there, and it was a blog feature at one point called Favorite Fives, where I was asking people their favorite complete albums of all time, your favorite no
oh,
skip records. So I'm glad that you seem like that was a really good answer you gave me before this. I was like, all right, this will be a question that I think he'll really enjoy. So, dude, man, maybe if you can think of five, awesome. If you want to do more than five, I've asked this question
oof,
to everybody. Some people just like the guy interviewed the guys in Under Oath. They just kind of took over the last 3 minutes of the interview, just back and forth, their favorite complete albums. And I just kind of stepped
yeah.
back and was like, I'm just gonna listen to you guys take over this entire
I
interview.
mean,
So, yeah, your
that
favorite?
Under Oath, the
Yeah,
Under Oath record, what is it? Chasing Safety?
I think so.
Is that what it is? Something like that. I mean, I could listen to that straight.
Mhm.
Um, I think, like, I mean, in the rock world, Audio Slave. Um, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Cochise, is that how people
Cochise,
say
yeah,
it?
yeah, the song, yeah.
That yeah, that record I think was on repeat when it came out in my truck for ever. Um, and I still throw that on when I need to.
Mhm.
Man, and then you get into like, man, like, Eat a Peach, Allman Brothers, or, Live at Fillmore. Um, oh man. The staples I feel like are all the albums that you listen to straight. I mean, and then I do a lot of singer-songwriter listening. So Ray
Okay.
LaMontagne, Till the Sun Turns Black is one of my top records, just of all time. And man, I feel like I can throw on any Black Crowes record and listen to it straight. I don't know how many I've said. Um,
Dude, hey, if you want, like I said, if you want to
but
give five, great. If you want to give more, it's completely. I just leave
yeah,
this
I
completely.
mean
Whoever I'm talking to, I leave it completely up to them.
I mean that's kind of we hit a lot of different,
Yeah,
genre pieces in that
yeah.
one.
No, it's
Um,
cool. Some people mentioned
yeah,
like Dave Matthews. I mean, some people have mentioned Alanis Morissette. I mean, then you got the typical like Master of Puppets by Metallica. It's just kind of,
sure.
and every once in a while somebody throws something at you. It's like I did not see that coming. There's a band I know really well where the drummer's like, dude, I love Dave Matthews, and I'm like, never would have ever seen that coming ever.
Yeah,
So it's been a really really fun question to ask. So
nice.
Robert, again, man, you guys are on the Artist Spotlights Wednesday, November 15th. A song called
Awesome.
Stone Cold Killer. Again, a bunch of new music from you guys on the way. So if people want to follow you guys, pay attention to everything. If they want to sign up to get some free music from you guys as well, where can everybody do that?
RobertJohnandTheWreck.com. Robert Jon and the Wreck.com. Sign up, get some free stuff. We have a store there. We have all of our tour dates coming up, and yeah, that's everything you need to know.
Awesome. Well, it's a packed year for you guys. Again, when it comes to music, comes to shows, and I know next year's not slowing down as well. So, dude, Robert, great to meet you, man. Looking forward to sharing the song, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.